How my parents caught me doing the devil's tango and walked in on me. So this story, there's a lot of explaining to do. And honestly, I don't like saying these stories, but at the same time, these are the stories that I think you guys are the most excited for, funny enough. And also, you guys always have these questions and always want to know, like, hey, how does that experience really go, getting caught doing these things? And honestly, as a guy who's been caught, it's not easy. But the way this ended up happening was super awkward. But before I get into that, make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe if you guys haven't already. Seriously, I tell a lot of crazy stories on this channel and more to come. I said come. Okay, anyways, going on, guys. Seriously, if you guys haven't pressed that subscribe button, just do it right now. And on top of that, follow me on Instagram, and I am live on Twitch as we speak. So if you guys have any questions, just go on there and follow me and, you know, maybe talk me up a little bit. Talk to me, chat, you know, all that cool stuff. But anyways, let's get straight into this. Yo, what is going on, you guys? My name's Bubba, and welcome back to another crazy story. So today's story, like I said, is how my parents basically walked in on me doing the devil's tango. And the way this ended up happening was super awkward. But before that, I want to mention that if you guys do live in a nice house and everything, and, you know, you have really strict parents, I don't advise doing this. In no way do I advise anyone to do anything I do in these stories, so please don't. But basically, back when I was in high school, there was a girl that I was kind of, you know, just hooking up with. Me and her would always like hang out, and, you know, usually we'd go to her place. We'd always end up going to her place. Hell, at this point, let's just call her my sneaky link. We'd always go out and stuff, and we'd always like do it in the most weirdest places. For example, like one time we did it in a bookstore. That's a story for another time. Or for example, the other time when, you know, we did it in like a mall stairwell. Yeah, in the mall. I know, kind of weird, but like I said, I don't advise it. Let's just say me and her were very, very active. We were very active in general for doing the devil's tango. And well, I'm not gonna lie. Over time, it would be nice to do it in a bed. A bed is honestly one of the most comfortable places. Don't get me wrong. I know I have like a whole bathroom story series, but you know, if you want to go check those out, go for it. Honestly, like I said though, the best place to always do it is a bed. And I remember one time, me and her were talking, and we were in my car, and she was like, "Why don't we ever go to your place?" And you know, I always say this, but I have pretty strict parents, and I don't really like talking about my parents on this channel because let's be real here, it's none of you guys' beeswax. But you know, it was very awkward for me, and I always told her, "Oh, like my parents are always home, so like we can't really do it at my place." And then she told me, "Okay, well, I guess it's my place again. Whatever, let's just go." And we go to her place. When we go to her place, you know, her dad already knows me pretty well. At this point, I think her dad thought we were dating or something when clearly we weren't. Like, I wasn't ever interested in this girl or my sneaky link like that for some reason. I think she did once in a while, but me, I just never did. Anyways, I remember we went to her room and we, you know, turned on a movie and we just started doing the devil's tango. But obviously, you know, after that whole thing, she wasn't happy. I can tell in her eyes when she's like not happy or when she's sad or anything. And I remember she told me afterwards, honestly, like, I feel like you're like hiding something from me. Like, why don't we just be more open with each other? At this point, I realized that she was like kind of interested in me, but honestly, like I usually do, I just keep my mouth quiet. I don't really like to say anything during like, you know, pillow talk, I guess people call it. It's just not my thing, I guess. I don't know. But anyways, afterwards, she started like, you know, basically kind of being all upset with me and stuff. And I knew that was my cue to leave. So I remember it got up and I basically just left. After a while, I realized that she wasn't talking to me or hanging out with me anymore. And to be honest, I thought she was like moving on and stuff. But then I remember one night, she messaged me saying, "Hey, like, I just got like kicked out of my house. Like, can I come over to yours, please?" And at this point, it was like late at night and it was like, I think like 12:30 at night. She had nowhere else to go. She couldn't do anything else. So obviously I felt bad. And honestly, like, you know, I kind of just talked to my parents saying like, "Oh, like she's like an honor student at my school. Like she's a really good person. Like just let her inside, you know?" My parents agreed. And I remember she came into my place. She came in my place and we set up the guest bedroom for her and stuff. Honestly, I didn't know if she still cared about me or, you know, liked me in general. So like usual, I kept my mouth shut. I went to my room, turned on my Xbox and started playing video games. I was playing Call of Duty with the boys. And then after a while, I realized that she was dead quiet. Like the guest bedroom is near my room. So, you know, like it's not like weird that it's quiet, but knowing that she was in there and it was quiet was kind of awkward. I remember kind of like, you know, turning off my headset and then I kind of just went over to her room. I opened the door and I remember she was just kind of all sad and just all weepy and stuff and just sitting on the bed. And honestly, I had no idea if I should have just left her alone or walk in there. But what did I do? Well, I walked in there. I walked in there and I started talking. I'm like, "Hey, like, yo, is everything all right?" And she's like, "Oh, like, I'm just really upset. Like, I thought I was gonna meet this nice guy, but he ended up just ditching me. And like, my parents are upset with me. And like, life just sucks. Like, I don't get it." And I ended up just telling her, honestly, that's how life is. Like, you just gotta kind of just move on with it, I guess. Just don't worry about it. Don't think about it too much. Just go with the flow. Going with the flow is like always a thing I usually told people when they were upset. Cause I'm gonna be honest, I don't know how to give advice to anyone. Like, giving advice in my eyes is just pointing out the obvious. I think that's what advice is in general, but people are just dumb enough not to notice the obvious. But then I remember she looked at me saying, "Also, like, you have like a really nice house and like your parents are super nice. Like, I don't know why you never let me come over when we were like, you know, hooking up." And I told her, I'm like, "Listen, like, I don't know. I just don't like people in my personal life." Back then I was like that. I didn't like anyone knowing my personal life, but now I just tell everything. So, you know, it's whatever. Going on though, I remember me and her, we started like talking more and more. And then I don't know, she was very vulnerable, I guess. So she just kind of like came near me and just started holding on to me. And me, I didn't want to be in there, to be honest. I kind of just wanted to leave. But then it got to the point where she started like, you know, wanting it, if that makes sense. And then let's just say bippity boppity boo, we ended up doing the Devil's Tango like almost all night. I want to say like 3 hours went by. And I remember like we were making noise, obviously. And I guess there was someone walking in the hallway. Now, I had no idea who it was, but honestly, I could not be getting caught in the guest bedroom. So I remember I got up and I just started putting on my clothes and I went to my room. But when I went to my room and laid down, I realized that she came with me to my room. She came with me to my room, and I remember she started like basically like cuddling me and stuff. And then my parents decided to just magically walk into my room while I was fully clothed, but she wasn't. And let's just say, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it looked really bad. Me being fully clothed and her not having anything on and being in my room. Yeah, let's be real here. It looks bad on any angle you look at it. I remember my mom was like really upset, and like basically my dad like walked in and he's like, what is going on here? What are you doing? And I was like, oh, like dad, like don't worry. And then I remember she like kind of like looked around like all freaked out and stuff. And like honestly, bro, I just wish I turned off my Xbox because I think I left my mic on. I'm not gonna lie. I turned off my headset, but my microphone was definitely on. So my friends on Xbox were definitely hearing everything that was being said. And then I remember like I just heard my mom yelling, and then my dad was yelling, and then this girl, she just like came up and like started putting on her clothes, and then like was literally standing right behind me, like all freaked out. And like reminder, this was like at like 5 in the morning. So like we have no idea what to do. And then I remember she started like freaking out and stuff. And I remember like looking at her, I'm like, hey, like text a friend to like maybe like take home or something. Like I gotta deal with this. And then my mom was freaking out even more. My dad ended up unplugging my Xbox. Thank God, because I'm not gonna lie, my mic was on. So good thing he unplugged it. But at the same time, sucks because I didn't get to play Xbox for the rest of that week, which sucks because I want to play Call of Duty. But going on, things just kept getting worse and worse. And then it got to the point where I literally just said like, go to my car. And I handed her my car keys, and you know, she just went straight to my car. And then my parents were talking to me for like the next hour saying like, oh, like we didn't know you were active. Like we didn't know, like we didn't give you the speech or the talk. And honestly, like my parents giving me the talk. Oh my God. Okay, let me give you guys this story for a minute. It was one of the worst things ever. If your parents ever try to give you the talk, I'm sorry, you might as well search it up on Google. Like there is no point unless like, you know, there's a class for it in school nowadays, but you know, it's whatever. And long story short, honestly, it just was really, really awkward seeing that whole thing go down. And I remember when I went down to the car and basically drove her to her friend's house, I told her, this is why we never do it at my place. And she understood, and to this day, she never asked about doing it at my place anymore. Well, I mean, now I live alone, but you know what I mean. But anyways, guys, that is basically it for the story. Make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe if you guys haven't already. And also on top of that, I'm live on Twitch right now if you guys want to hear more crazy stories live. And on top of that, like I always say, fall for more embarrassing stories. All right, peace out, guys.